Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, wherever you are. My name is Wendy Cassera, and I am the hostess of the Money and More Show, the success place for you. I am the owner of Taxpectations. You can find us everywhere you want to be, online, offline, here and there, and all over the United States, and apparently I am international as well. I love to hear that. You know, it makes you sit up a little straighter in your chair. I have my website, www.taxpectations.com, although I keep forgetting you can get rid of the www now. And you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and all those other wonderful places so that you can get more tips and tricks and shortcuts to bookkeeping and jokes and quotes and help with life and business and your success, because this is the place where we talk about your success. And we've been doing Money Mondays now for a few weeks, and it's been kind of fun. We're doing a kind of a progression thing. We went from learning how to make sure and keep track of your money. We did some budgeting. We did some money-saving tips. And this week we're going to work a little bit on some bookkeeping tips and methods. So that's going to be a little bit fun. Let's see about first a motivational quote. There are always so many to choose from, and some of them are funny and some of them are just really, really good. Beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from the negative. It's hard to beat a person who never gives up. That was by Babe Ruth. I thought that was kind of really super cool. Have any of you seen that video? I love this video. When you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, that's when you will be successful. Kind of an interesting, it's a long video that goes with it. A gentleman showing some different clips of him working out and doing different sports things. It just absolutely phenomenal. This morning, my favorite quote, though, has to be from Jim Rohn. I actually posted it on my Facebook. He was talking about resolve. And he said that the best definition he heard was from a child who said, just promise yourself you'll never get up. And he continued talking, saying, think about it. How long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long would you give the average baby before you say, that's it, you've had your chance? Well, you're going to, of course, say that that's crazy. Any mother would say that their baby is going to keep trying until he learns how to walk. And by and large, all of us learn how to walk. So the lesson being, of course, is asking yourself, how long am I going to work to make my dreams come true? And I suggest that you answer as long as it takes. And this was a brief from Jim Rohn this morning, and I wanted to use that one because it was really cool. Like I said, I liked it. I posted it on my Facebook page. I say every day, as long as it takes, I will get back up and I will walk. So that's the motivation for the morning. Let's keep going. And by and by, a pop-up keeps popping up on my radio network page saying that the engineers are working on a solution for an audio file issue. So I'm just going to go along with the assumption that you're all hearing me and that it's all going to record correctly, and we'll go from there. So if you lose me, you know why. It's technical difficulties with the website, the Blog Talk Radio website. Anyhow, pushing forward. We are going to spend Money Monday today talking about bookkeeping methods and bookkeeping tips and simple things like that. The first thing I did was I looked up on Wikipedia, and I've never done this, and so it was kind of fascinating to find out what their definition is of bookkeeping. And it says bookkeeping is the recording of financial transactions, and it's part of the process of accounting and business. These transactions include purchases, sales, receipts, and payments by an individual or an organization. So the process that any process that involves the recording of financial transactions is a bookkeeping process. And it goes on, it gives a lot more about single entry systems, double entry systems, da 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 da. Bookkeeping is usually performed by a bookkeeper, who is a person who records the day-to-day financial transactions of an organization. And again, it says the purchases, sales, receipts, and payments. Bookkeeper is responsible for ensuring all transactions are recorded correctly in the general ledger, whatever that general ledger may be for you. Then an accountant can then create reports from the recorded financial transactions and create income statements, balance sheets, trial balance ledgers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was just kind of cute to see the Wikipedia definition of bookkeeping, right? Because a lot of people have a lot of different definitions as to what bookkeeping actually is, and what the difference is between bookkeeping and accounting is another thing that really stumps a lot of people. So now we have the direct definition of bookkeeping. They record the day-to-day transactions. So there we are. And did you know that it literally is a law that every business is required to maintain accurate and timely records? It's a law. It's written into law somewhere. So that means that if you're not doing that, you can get into trouble. Kind of interesting. And, I'm not going to go there. Okay. So, yes, it's a law. And it says maintain accurate and timely records. Timely records means you probably shouldn't wait until tax time next year to maintain those records. And, we talk about Money Mondays because if you just take that little bit of time out of your week, 60 minutes, 1 hour a week, or some time each day, it's going to make it so much easier for you and give you the peace of mind. And that's what a lot of this is about, is finding that peace of mind. Because if you know what's going on in your world, in your business, in your financial world of any kind, home, life, and business, it makes things much easier for you. So good practice to have. And, one of the things, as I'm looking around preparing for my shows, I look at a lot of different things. And I really liked the fact that there was one place that pointed out at the top, big bold letters, asterisk on either side, it says, find a good advisor. One of the biggest tips that some of the big guys really dwell on is to find a good advisor. So even if you're doing yourself and not hiring a wonderful, successful, smart bookkeeper like myself, you should at least find an advisor, again, myself, that can answer questions and help you along with your bookkeeping and giving you ideas of what should be done and shouldn't be done and when it should be done and all that sort of thing. So, jumping into bookkeeping tips and methods. First kind of thing you need to find is bookkeeping methods. Okay, so let's go over that kind of really quick. There are a lot of bookkeeping methods. There are, of course, the online with QuickBooks or FreshBooks or one of those other places. There's 101 bookkeeping softwares online that you can use. Some of them are free. Some of them cost money. Microsoft has one now, a money management one that people are using. There are all different kinds of online bookkeeping methods. There's also billing softwares where all you're doing is your customer billing, not necessarily keeping track of the rest of your bookkeeping. And these days, a lot of POS systems are industry specific and customized for the industry, and they'll also help keep depending on what system it is. And excuse me, I know that there are a lot of different POS systems that are industry specific. Hotels and property managers have one, so they can keep track of when it's being cleaned, the maintenance, all that kind of stuff, And I'm just using that one as an example. There are lots of different kinds. The other thing, other ways that you can do it are good old-fashioned notebooks and ledger sheets. Keep a notebook that you write all of your income coming in and all of your expenses going out. And of course, I have on my website, shameless plug, on my website some really nice worksheets to help you. And the good thing is you can download those worksheets. You can put each month on them, create a binder so you have your 12 months, you have your revenue tracking system so you know how much money's coming in, and your money log so you know how much is going out, and then the budget sheet, which shows what you're planning for the month and the kind of adjustments that you had to make according to what you actually spent and received. So you can use those in like a binder system, and I think that's pretty good. I've got a client this year, her tax return, she did that. She took those sheets, she put them in binder, and then she went and got a bunch of pencil pouches, that have the binder holes in them, and she put those in there. And so each month had the revenue tracking system, the money log, the budget sheet, her bank statement, and then one of those pouches. And in those pouches is where she put all her receipts. So she had her whole month done up, and she went on to each month and she put that in a binder. I thought that was really ingenious. Organization at its finest. So that's a really interesting and good way to do it. There are lots of other ways. I have a client I've spoke regarding that before that uses the day planner. Everything goes in the day planner, but she wasn't doing any bookkeeping. So I suggested to her that she use her day planning for the bookkeeping. So up in the left-hand corner of the day planner, she just made a big box that she leaves blank, and that way she can write down how much income she got that day and who from. And she can also write down expenses that she had. So when she goes to Office Depot, she puts Office Depot office supplies, $45.73. And her bookkeeping is all in there, along with her appointments, so that she can track the mileage and know where she went business-wise for that day. So she has a mileage log as well, all of it in that nice little nifty day planner. And that really, really works for some people. Again, when you're looking at a bookkeeping method, you have to find something that works. Something that works for you, something that works with your personality, because if it doesn't, you won't do it. The whole premise of being successful, the whole thing that I go back to is make it simple and easy. Make it fun for yourself. Find something easy, something that fits your personality. If you recall a few shows ago, we talked about personalities as far as bookkeeping and money saving and budgeting. So figure out what your personality is, what works for you, what's easiest. Some people are hoarders. They like to keep every single receipt. So having that little pouch and they can put all the receipts in it is perfect for them. Some people are organized. They have folders or boxes, whatever they have. And they have the opposite scale. You have those people who can't manage to keep a receipt or hold on to a piece of paper, or it gets shoved in the glove box or the console of the truck or the pockets or whatever. And for those people, one of the things you can do is as soon as you get the receipt, take a picture of the receipt on your phone. Then you have the receipts. I have suggested to my clients in the past, and I think this is really great. I'm attempting to get all of my clients to do it actually. Create Gmail or other free email where all of your receipts can be emailed to. So, for instance, you go into Lowe's or Home Depot or any of them and you get a receipt, they're going to ask you if you have an email you want it sent to, and you have all your receipts and stuff sent to that email. As you're going through your daily email and you get a receipt from something you purchased or an invoice or something like that from a client, forward it over to that email. PayPal, Square, have those receipts forwarded over to that email. And you have one email that its sole purpose, the only thing it does, is to hold all of your receipts and invoices and different accounting things. That is a really good way to keep track of all those receipts. So it's just great. Your pictures on your phone, take a picture of the receipt and forward it to that email address. Pictures on the phone are awesome. Because then you have a picture of that receipt. If you lose the receipt, you still have proof of the receipt. The other thing is with receipts these days, they fade really easily. Did a tax return for somebody yesterday, and you know who you are, who loves to use highlighter, and she was highlighting all of her receipts. Well, in case you don't know it, using highlighter on receipts on that thermal paper kills whatever was underneath it. All you see is the highlighter. If you can't see it, if there's no copy of that receipt, and you get audited or in some other way somebody needs you to prove something, you've lost it. Don't write on your receipts. Don't highlight your receipts. But a good idea is to take a picture of them. Or if you have a good printer scanner at home, a little desktop version, go home, scan all your receipts in. Create a thumb drive, one thumb drive for 2015. Plug it into your computer. All of your receipts, all of your 2015 bookkeeping goes on that thumb drive. Create a folder on your computer, on your hard drive that has the same stuff in it, so you have backups. It's always good to have backups. Never want to do stuff twice. Lots of different ideas. Those are just some of the ideas. I mean, there's Excel spreadsheets. There's all kinds of ways that you can do to keep track of your bookkeeping. So, along the vein of keeping track, one of the things I wanted to talk about today was cash. A lot of people like to use cash. I was actually amazed at the number of people who still use cash. Some of us only ever use plastic. We don't keep cash in our wallet anymore. There are people who use cash on everything. And the most challenging thing about using cash is the fact that if you lose that receipt, there's no record of that and you're done. You're gone. A lot of write-offs are lost because of people using cash because things weren't written down. I've had people who have warehouses and they'll have contract labor. You know, people come out like kids from the schools or the colleges to come out to help for a few days, and they hand them cash. And they don't keep track of that cash, that's what they used it for. And so those write-offs, which are legal good write-offs, don't happen because there was no record of the transaction. So if you use cash, again, get a receipt, take a picture. Use a journal. Get a little journal. Any office supply store, dollar store, everywhere has a journal. Make a journal of 2015 and write all your cash transactions in it. Find something that's simple and easy for you to use to track, because cash gets lost very easily. You're a business owner. Really, really important to keep your business and personal finances separate. Especially, you know, a lot of people don't understand. You go down, you get an LLC. An LLC is recognized on the state level. An LLC is a little bit extra cushion so that if you ever get sued or something happens, somebody can't get to you as easy. They're going to sue or have a problem with the LLC. Well, let me tell you the rules. The rules and the laws. If you don't keep your business and personal finances separate, the court doesn't have to keep your business and personal finances separate. They can actually negate the whole purpose you spent money on your LLC or your other corporations, you know, S corporations, et cetera, if you don't keep those separate. So if you don't keep them separate, they don't have to keep them separate. Now, another thing while we're talking about keeping things separate, I was speaking with the wonderful lady down at the South Carolina Department of Revenue. She works with sales and use tax and withholding taxes. And she asked me a very good question that I am passing on to you. She asked me, why don't business owners keep a separate bank account for their sales and use tax? Again, I've told you guys before, the IRS can't garnish a bank account that they don't have any knowledge of, and they're not going to have any knowledge of it if you didn't pay the check or the payment with that bank account. Okay? So having a separate bank account for your income taxes and your payroll taxes and your sales and use taxes is awesome. Good way to go. At the end of the month, transfer the money that you collected, or at the end of the week, transfer the money from your main account where your income comes in for the sales tax, put it over into the other account. Payroll taxes, income taxes, keep those accounts separate. When you're doing your bookkeeping, however you're doing it, we're attempting to get everybody to get into the habit of doing it every Monday. Take a minute on Monday, go online to your bank, and transfer the sales and use tax amount out into it. And if it's easier for you, get 3 different separate bank accounts. One for payroll taxes and payroll, one for your sales tax, one for your income taxes, and have those as other accounts set up almost like a savings account that are attached to your business bank account. Really a good idea. Doesn't take a minute or two anymore these days. We're all online. Doesn't take any time. Saves you a lot of hassle. Also, because then you're less likely to spend that money on something else. When you're dealing with payroll taxes and sales and use taxes, people, it is a federal offense to not pay those. Okay? You can be charged criminally federally. It's fraud because you took that money from another individual. It is your responsibility to pay it to the government in whichever agency that is. So when you take money out of your employees' payroll for payroll taxes, it is your responsibility. It is the law that you pay those payroll taxes to the government, along with your portion, of course. Keeping that and using it for other things, paying the bills, buying new product, is against the law. It really is. So it's a good idea to get into. Let's see here. Another good habit to get into when you're talking about being is to keep on top of your accounts receivable. That means your income, all the money that's coming in. Now, some people don't do credit, so they think they don't have an accounts receivable. But how many of you who don't do credit have the same monthly clients every month? Do you keep a checklist, perhaps, of your monthly clients to make sure that those are billed correctly and that they've paid it on time? You know, when you're in business for a good number of years and you have a lot of clients, sometimes it runs together, and attempting to think in your head whether or not Joe Smith paid you this month or not, or whether you billed him and he hasn't paid because he didn't get a bill and he forgot he needs to pay you. You know, all those things. So do some sort of invoice tracking system. Create an Excel spreadsheet. If you are using online software, that will help with that as well. QuickBooks allows for reoccurring transactions. So you can create that invoice and tell it to reoccur and even email it every single month to the proper people. It helps with your budgeting and your cash flow if you know how much money is coming in. And if your billing is sporadic, your accounts receivable is sporadic, your money coming in is sporadic, it's harder to pay the bills. So it's really important then for you to keep on top of that and track it all. That I want to give you all, in the grand scheme of things, is something that very few people ever do anymore. Reconcile your bank statement every month. It is really, really important. With this day and age of identity theft and credit card theft and, you know, people getting on and hacking the IRS website or hacking Lowe's department store website or Target and, you know, all the places that have been hacked and all the places yet to be hacked, it is very easy for people to use your credit card information to purchase things for themselves. You know, there's issues with, you know, bank tellers getting it, and you're using, you know, the computer hack on your own computer that causes issues. So it's really important to reconcile your bank statement for that reason. One of the big tips and tricks that they use is they will go into your bank account every month and steal $4 or $5. And when you're doing your online checking out to make sure you have enough bank in the account, $4 or $5 isn't going to be noticed. But if you think about on their end, if they're doing $4 or $5 to 10,000 people, that's $40,000 and $50,000. They're pretty smart. And most people don't reconcile their bank accounts anymore, their bank statements, and they know it. So taking that $4 or $5 out a month or every week or however often they do really adds up for them. Also, if you accept credit cards, making sure those credit card deposits are correct every month. That's part of reconciling your bank statement, because computers make mistakes, companies make mistakes, people make mistakes. Every once in a while, the hiccup in the computer allows the computer to miss depositing a credit card deposit into your bank account that month, or it's an incorrect amount, or whatever else the case may be. And, you know, some of you are thinking with the small dollar figures you put through your bank, that's not really an issue. But if you're in the habit of doing this when you're small, when you grow, because we're talking about success and we're going to help you be successful, when you get to be that successful person and you have more and more and more stuff going through, being in these kind of habits and catching those things early saves you money. You know, $5 a month, right? $5 a month, 12 months, $60. What could you do with $60? Get to eat out. You can hire a maid for an hour so you don't have to clean your house. You can buy a present for someone that really deserves it because they've been really helpful in your life and doing great things for you. There are so many things. You could take a drive on Sunday afternoon out into the country. What other things could you think of to do with that $60? Don't give it to the people who don't deserve it because they stole it from you. And which goes back to other things that we talked about last week with money saving tips. So we won't go there. So these are just some of the bookkeeping methods, bookkeeping tips that I had come up with to share with you today. There are dozens of others as well. When you get a credit card, you get one specific credit card that is only for business expenses. You never use it for anything personal, that kind of thing. We could keep going on and on and on because I have all these neat ideas and thoughts and plans. And my thoughts and plans are to help you to be successful. And guess what else I want you to be? I want you to be happy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel.
And when they talk about sunshine, she's here to stay. That's me. I'm the sunshine. So I'm here to stay. And if you have any questions, queries, answers, suggestions, thoughts, give me a holler. You can find me at Wendy@Taxpectations.com. You can find me via my website, Taxpectations.com. Facebook, under Wendy Cassera or Taxpectations.com. LinkedIn, Twitter, all those other wonderful places. And as most of you are aware, and the rest of you should be aware, the first consultation's free. Give me a call, and after that, we'll see what you need and where you need to go, and we can sit down and have a very nice conversation. And if you're not next to me, we can do a virtual conversation via Skype and other, Google Hangouts. There's all kinds of neat things. We love technology. We can communicate with anybody, anywhere, and discuss what is going to work best for you and your personality. I would love to chat with you. And again, I am here all the time, everywhere you want to be. I will be on the air again next Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to give you more information to lead to your success. So come talk to me then. Share this with your friends, your family, even those that aren't friends and family, your favorite business, your favorite restaurant. When you go to your favorite restaurant, the little mom and pop store, tell them, I know a really good accountant who gives really good tips and advice on taxes. And send them to my radio show where they too can hear about how to be happy and successful. At any rate, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, week, year, month, and on all the other little time slots that fit in between there. Don't forget to be happy. No, let's say that in a positive way. Let's always remember that we want to be happy every day, all the time, and we are successful, and we will keep going and moving along, as the motivational quote said. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Beautiful things can happen. So I hope that you work hard, dream big, and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.